Guys, welcome back to the Whatever Comes to Mind podcast. I'm Heaven.
I'm Alaya. I'm Ace.
And today we're going to talk to you guys about environmental racism and the destruction of North St. Louis, the importance of community, and whatever else we think about along the way. But right now we were talking about the importance of popularity versus being right and who opinions people take more serious. My take on this was that unfortunately being right is more important than being liked is more important than being right ever will be. And then he said,
I said that being popular is more influential when it comes to trying to reason with people or influence them rather than it is having knowledge of a specific subject, because people tend to follow trends, and I think they just come from like societal norms and cultural norms where we would learn over time to develop to be a follower instead of a leader.
Yes, and you can tell, like, if you guys ever saw the TikToks when it was like, well, I'm not liking this, it has little likes, or like liking at 10, investing and expecting 100 likes or something. I definitely think that that's the case, and I said that, and that applies to even sport-like figures like Stephen A. Smith, how people, the fact that he's just loud and everywhere make people think that his opinion is somehow more valid, but I don't. Like, I take opinions as opinions unless it's facts. And I think that although some opinions are wrong, all of them have equal value to me, but that doesn't mean they impact the world equally.
But let's go deeper. So my question is, if you was to be one to say what is right or wrong, are we saying subjectively, meaning on the person himself, perception on the situation, or the general opinion? Because I feel like there's no one general opinion. Even to this day, America and Europe use two different type of metric systems. So what's the definition of what's actually right?
Well, okay. I guess to go even deeper, that would come down to whether you believe that there's like a higher power in life.
Okay.
Whether you believe, because I believe that God is the ultimate judge. So I do believe that there are things that he has specified that is right and wrong, and I do believe that there is punishment in the afterlife, even if you don't get punishment right now. I do believe that. So I'm just under the impression that there is right and wrong. I do think the problem is when you leave it up to humans, because we have free will, so we can all see the exact same situation, know all the context, and still come to different conclusions. But I guess what's right and wrong today is based off what the laws say, was what the ethics say of today, what the moral grounds say of today. And you can also tell if it's right or wrong, like the impacts of it. Like, you can tell that carbon, using all these fossil fuels and all of that, is not a good thing to do, because every time if you walk behind the car and the smoke come out, you're going to start coughing. So you can tell by the impacts of what they're doing that this is decidedly not a good thing to do.
Basically, I'm picking up on what you're saying. Like, the end result can give you a proper definition of whether something is right or wrong, fact or fiction. We can have opinions on it beforehand, but you live life, and then the end result, cause and effect, the effect of the situation shows the truth of what the cause is.
Yeah, and there are certain groups today that, like historically in America, straight white men have been on the wrong side of history. They have been
Explain. Straight white men have been on the wrong side of history when from Greece to Rome to America, they've been populating and been the world power.
There are only 11 countries in the world that that haven't been colonized. Guess who the main colonizers were? I'm saying historically in America, 1877 to 2025.
Not 1776.
That's oh my goodness, I meant to say 1776. Okay. But any date really, you can pick one. They have historically been on the wrong side of history. While if you take a look at Native American women, the way that if they're voting, the way that they vote, and the way that they go about their business, those are the two groups that tend to be on a complete opposite spectrum of what's going on and who's being impacted by it.
You know what I think been on the wrong side of history? Impoverished people, sovereign people, and people that's poor. They don't have a decision. I feel like it's a top percentage that's really small that control the narrative and history.
Yeah.
And I believe there's a lot of inaccuracies. I think to find the truth, You find the truth in yourself and who you are, and digging into your past and your history, which is why we're not being racist when we talk about black communities in St. Louis and how it's affected by the tornado. But I think we just trying to find truer, deeper sense of self, because before you can realize anything exterior to you, you have to know what's inside you.
Yeah, I do think your sense of
self-awareness,
your sense of self and self-esteem will definitely guide how you view the world and what you think of it. And well, have you been seeing that it's going around how more people are getting ethnic rhinoplasties?
What's that?
It's a nose job, but they're saying they're doing it in an ethnic way.
Like Drake, when Kendrick had said he got a nose job.
Yeah. But the thing is, the first nose that you have is your ethnic rhinoplasty. Because ethnic and nose job are two conflicting terms. Because your ethnic, the reason that your first nose is your ethnic rhinoplasty, because your first nose is your grandchildren's nose and is your grandparents' nose on your face. So so I guess that's like how your self-esteem shapes the world. Because it's starting to be like, although we're having big conversations about a small group of people, because first off, not everyone can afford the nose jobs or the plastic surgery, but people are starting to look more and more like Barbie dolls every day.
Yeah, like all the famous. What I don't like is that the successful
Could you stop
people.
Smoking?
Yeah, the successful people, especially the black people. What I don't like and what I see often is that a lot of them tend to get their ass done. They wear fake hair. They do everything that's unnatural from who they are when they came on Earth. And maybe that's the idea of success and the paradigm. And I just feel like that's wrong. We need to censor a lot of the things that we seeing and hearing, because it's influencing us, which go back to the beginning of the conversation. It's influencing the next generation.
Yeah. When they see people, so a lot of black kids. So growing up, because I never saw a lot of black doctors on screen, on TVs and all of that. But now we're starting to see them more. But when I want to see a black doctor, I want to see one that actually looks like me, not a white person with black skin. Right. I don't want to see the straight hair and I don't want you to look like a Barbie. I just want you to look like a black human being.
Because even though we was born in America and our ancestors were slaves that was transported to America, don't mean that we have to be Western colonized and to follow all the ways. I think black people need their own self-identity, which is why when things like the tornado in St. Louis happening, we go running to other nations instead of being able to rebuild our own community. If something happened in China, the Chinese are going to help rebuild. We need to be able to have the same ability with blacks.
But everyone in China, or at least 80% of Chinese Americans, their furthest, deepest ancestry goes back to China. While America is the opposite. We are a melting pot of multiple cultures.
Right.
So we don't. And this is also the problem that black British people have with black Americans. How black Americans do not have the immigrant story that Irish Americans have. We don't have the story of a famine caused us to leave and we all chose to come here because this was the best available place. Right. No, we were forcibly removed, taken, and got our culture stripped from us along the way. Because like, if I tell you as a black person, a black American, that I'm from St. Louis, that doesn't mean that my granddad
is French.
No, it means that as far as back as I can trace, I'm from St. Louis, and the furthest back that they're going to be able to trace it will probably be from somewhere in Mississippi.
Right.
But all of my cultural ties, the way I talk, the way I think, I have the St. Louis perspective. So we don't have the immigrant story that like the black British people have, and I really do think that that's why black British people think of black Americans that way.
What's crazy is we don't even have a story. Like, usually we learned that, or we were running around in Africa in draws, then we became slaves. But before slavery, don't nobody talk about the dark ages or a lot of prominent black figures that you can be inspired and look up to eons ago to be able to look at your life today and say, how can I achieve the same goals? And I think black education and black excellence is really needed. That's the first thing. And
I do yes, and we need to change what we think black excellence is. I do not think that consumerism and material goods is the right way to measure black excellence.
Louis, Gucci, and Prada.
Yes. I do think that your spending power, how much money you do have, would be a better metric, because that, like, how much money that you could spend on this, that does show your wealth. So having money has good purposes. I'm not going to tell you that having a lot of money is a good thing, but it does have its purposes. But we have to break out of the cycle of spending these $1,000 on bags and shoes and then thinking that determines our worth.
Let's take money out the subject. My question to you is, how can Black people succeed and we not mentioning the financial part of it? What change and shift do you need to see that have nothing to do with financials or economics?
Tupac told us this 33 years ago. We need to see each other as brothers and sisters and not two distant strangers.
We gon' change the world. He say we not kill each other.
Yeah.
Violence.
He told us this 33 years ago now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to see each other as as brothers and sisters and not two distant strangers.
Shout out to my co-host. She look good. Well, I'm the co-host. She the host. Shout out to the host. The host looking good, y'all.
Thanks. This is my show, the Whatever Comes to Mind podcast.
Whatever comes to fucking mind. Or no cuss words.
No, you can curse. Just not excessively.
Fuck.
Oh. Yeah. So we just really need to see each other as a group in a community. And I think St. Louis has done a great job, well, in the early stages of the recovery, as like putting a big giving like the victims of this tragedy a warm hug and giving them food and shelter. I have some statistics to read.
It's not enough though. I feel like motherfuckers need to roll out the red carpet. Like when a white boy go shoot up a school, CNN there, all that. Like, where's the money and where's the funds? St. Louis got a whole bunch of money from the Rams settlement. Like, y'all can't use $5 million to rebuild the Black community. We still got potholes and shit. We got the Chesterfield and it's not there. Delmar Divide, which is one of our topics.
You can see, but I do think that, like, back to what you said, it all starts internally to fixing, because we do know that you can't build anything. Like, if there's no money invested in the community, we can't fix it. But what we can fix is our mindsets, and that starts when we're young. That starts with, for us, it would be valuing education over material goods.
Boom.
Number
one, and let's not skip over that like fast. Like, education is imperative. You can't go nowhere if you don't know how to get there. You need to educate yourself so you know how to move.
Yeah.
Financial literacy too.
Financial literacy, yes. Trying to work towards home ownership, although that might be a little insensitive to say during this particular moment, but doing that. Try and understand. I think that a lot of young black men, they struggle to see in the end goal, which is why they try to make money fast in illegal ways. But I think just getting them to sit down and really understand that this is not the way to go. But I had recently made a TikTok about this, and I was just saying that everything that you can say to a young person who's diving into this like thug lifestyle has already been said to them, and they have already heard it. There is nothing. You're going to go to jail, or you're going to get shot, or you're going to remain broke forever.
Me personally, I went to jail. I was a young age. I was taking care of myself at 15 years old. I left my parents' house, moved into foster care, was homeless, and so the first thing I did was look for safety and comfort in a friend. But that friend, how he was raised and how his dad was probably raised, because his dad was dead inside of a graveyard due to being shot. He was a thug. He was a criminal. And so me not even being raised like that, that's just what I learned from my peers and my environment when I was most susceptible at the time, especially as a teenager. So I decided to like rob and steal and shoot and like do all type of things that led me down to now being able to label the felon and can't even leave the country and can't even hold a gun down to protect me, myself, and my family. So like decisions is important and crucial like at a young age. And so that bracket and demographic we trying to reach out to, 13 all the way to 21, like, is really imperative. Educate yourself.
So what happened? Well, what you just said, it just reminded me of like a sandwich of bad things. At the age when you start going through like puberty and into all the way like up until you're probably like 22, that age, that is first off, young kids are naturally susceptible, right?
Susceptible.
Also, it's when you get all that teenage angst, and that's when all the "I hate you, mom" stuff starts to come. So you already
I want to kill my mom.
Yeah, so you're already naturally inclined to be like more upset and more just slightly irate all the time. And then it's also the bad influences of your peers that and what they can do and what the bad influence that they can have on you. It's also it's a whole it's like a bucket of bad things that happen. At least how you describe it. That's my little brother. Ignore him.
Okay, I figured it was over, but I'm like, do she know him?
Yep.
Another thing is that I feel
that's
like
my daddy.
That's your dad?
Yeah.
He looked up in here?
I don't know.
Hey, y'all, I'm not with that. Daddies be crazy over their daughter, man. How you feel about that? How you feel about black fatherhood in America 2025? Like, let's talk about it. Black fatherhood. I feel like fathers, especially young fathers, is on the way. Like, they doing their shit. They handling their business.
I think it's gotten better. I think we've started to acknowledge.
I'm one of them. Let's talk about it.
Talk about it.
Like, I ain't gonna lie. I be stressed the fuck out with my baby mamas, bro. And then they be doing shit like for a season and a reason not wanting me to see my kids and playing games. But like when it come to money or time or just fun and effort and energy, I had a dad. A lot of my friends didn't have a dad. But even the friends that I know that didn't have a dad or in their kids' life when they're playing their part with just going to the doctor's appointment, going to go get some ice cream, taking them to a baseball game, like the little shit, the time that matter. Like us, this generation is doing good as parents. But we be fucking. And there be a lot of young parents, and that's a problem. That's why we broke and fucked up. Like, we gotta take care of kids.
Yeah, raising kids is always a bad thing. It doesn't matter how much money you have.
You can have some kids.
No.
You're not gonna have no kids.
I plan on eventually.
How many kids you want?
2. Kids raising kids is always they'll be preferred, or 2 girls. So boy, girl, or boy. If I had to pick the order. Raising children is always a bad thing, no matter how much money you have. It's just not a good thing. Also, back to the baby mama drama. I think us as people who know baby mamas have done a very horrible job of holding them accountable when they're not letting the fathers or if it's or when the father's not letting the mother see the children. I do think that if you know your sister is not letting your nieces and nephews' fathers see the children, we have to be accountable, have to hold them accountable and tell them that that's not okay.
Y'all need to stop having sex at an early age. Y'all need to keep y'all thing in y'all pants, keep y'all legs closed, because that's a problem. We creating all these monsters. It's like when I went to jail, 17, 18, 16-year-olds in there for murder, and they like shooting a basketball hoop and really children and just want snacks, and like you killed a nigga, like. And it's just a video game to them. They desensitized.
Yeah. Especially here, we have grown extremely desensitized. Especially in the St. Louis region. That's why every time someone doesn't die, or like if somehow STL went 2 weeks straight without murder, that would make our news for the next 2 months. We will talk about the 2-week period of how nobody died from any vehicle manslaughter, how no one got shot to death. Or nothing. We will all talk about that.
I feel like it's a curse over this city, because I know that the Mississippi River, when they came down there at the arch, they'd take them up to the old courthouse. They'd take them down to the old courthouse and set them as slaves, and I feel like a lot of people died who was maimed and couldn't be sold. And so like I really feel like this city just got a dark cloud. It's an energy. I've been to LA. It's an energy over this city, and it's dark as fuck. Let's talk about it. It's dark.
One reason we have a dark cloud is the environmental racism and the environmental pollution. So
is racism here? Yeah, that's a dumb question.
Yeah, I mean it's also like racist almost everywhere in America. But I think
it's different racisms though. Do you know that? You got political racism, you got country racism, you got financial racism, colorism.
Yeah, like racism in Mississippi is a lot different than racism in Massachusetts. It is very different.
It's segregated here.
It is segregated.
LA is different though. LA is like, when I say the political racism is different, like it's a respectable racism, but like people only fuck with their kind.
Yeah, St. Louis, we suffer a lot. I think right now we're definitely seeing how environmental racism is impacting us. So if you don't know what environmental racism is, it's a form of inequality where communities of color and low income communities face a disproportionate risk of exposure to pollution and health-related hazards. So first off, St. Louis is not a walkable city. Whether it's because of how dangerous it is to walk, you might get shot. STL drivers are not good at driving.
Shit wicked.
We don't respect bikers lanes. It's just STL is not a walkable city to start with. Even if you ignore the 100-degree weather that we have from June to July. Also, the streets, there are certain communities that are so much hotter than other neighborhoods in it because there aren't any trees planted, and that is on purpose.
Wow. Give me an example.
To make them.
I don't see no trees on Delmar. I don't see no trees down King Sideway, honestly.
Yeah.
I see a lot of trees here.
There aren't any trees planted to make the people suffer. It makes the neighborhoods hotter. The trees, the reason that we can walk on these sidewalks, we shouldn't do this. But if you wanted to, in neighborhoods with lots of trees, if you could walk on the sidewalk without it being super hot, how the weather says it's like 95 degrees, but to you it might only feel high 70s, is because of the trees. That's what cools the neighborhoods down.
Okay, that makes sense.
So there are certain neighborhoods with no trees. There's certain you will never find a power plant that produces super pollution in a high income neighborhood. You will never find that. Where you will find those at is in the low income areas, and that's an example of environmental racism.
What's that word that everybody use when they talk about moving? Gentrification.
I am very worried about the gentrification of North St. Louis.
It's been happening since like the fucking 50s, 60s, 70s. It's crazy.
Yes, and it has. But now,
and they keep switching it up. They like, oh, okay, we tired of the niggas. Let's move them over here.
Now, now since so much of it is decimated, when they gentrify it, not only are they still doing the bad things, they're going to look as if that they are the good guys, because what they're going to frame it as, we came in and we bought all these condemned houses and we fixed them all up and we got all these people out of this bad neighborhood. That's how they're going to frame it when they gentrify it, because it's going to look like they're helping, because you can't not say that when they bought the condemned houses and got the people out the neighborhood, even though they gave them a fraction of what the house was actually worth, you can't say that they didn't help them in the moment. And that's how it's going to be framed.
Real estate companies
are evil. Landlords are evil. Insurance companies are worse. So upwards of 70% of North St. Louis homeowners do not have the insurance on their homes. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but most homes for black people, if they own them, it got passed down. The home ownership of it was passed down.
They've been be bought through credit and a loan, FHA loan.
Well, it could be like, this was our grandparents' house, they died, it's my parents' house, and now it's my house. So it's like our family home. So a lot of people have lost their family homes and things of that nature.
And then the ownership being like gentrified neighborhoods, you don't really see a lot of ownership in neighborhoods where like Baldwin or Chesterfield, like you see like Florissant. Like the middle-aged black people, the cream of our crop in St. Louis for black people is lower middle class. If you can reach lower middle class, 60,000 a year, then to us normal black people in St. Louis, it look like you 100,000 there. And so that's sad, because I feel like it's more money here, especially with us being a transport, export, import city right here by the Mississippi River. It's a lot of business here, but the business is like the white man got it. And so like black people is only good at doing things. No, we're very capable, but we only skilled now, and what I've been seeing people be successful is like bouncing the ball or shaking their ass. And like I want more from us. Like,
yes, that's why I think so. By 2030, America will need at least 500,000 plumbers. Trade school, yes, it's still school. So please don't think that trade school is your get out of the slums free card, because it's not. It's still trade school, still education. Some will argue that it's harder than a traditional college because you're doing the school part and you're doing the field activities, and they coincide, so you don't get the luxury.
Who is this? This your little brother? He got a whip.
Yeah. So back to the Delmore divide. Oh no, that's my mom's boyfriend. But my brother was in an orange shirt. So the Delmore Divide, areas of North St. Louis is 95% black, right? Above the Delmore Divide.
Okay.
But below it, it is 73% white. So when we talk about the disparities, and that's not normal.
Food restaurants, you're not finna see no Church's Chicken, goddamn me, where the 73% of the people at. You're not finna see no liquor stores. You're not finna see no Chinamen. You gonna see Chick-fil-A. You can't find no Chick-fil-A in the hood in the 95% of them are divide. Like, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so
I'm pissed, bro.
And if I'm in the hood, I will see a liquor store, and I will see
a church and a Walgreens
and a beauty supply, right?
And a beauty supply.
But the institutions that
vacant house.
But the institutions that I believe that every successful neighborhood needs, every successful neighborhood needs a pharmacy. Every successful neighborhood needs a school. Every successful neighborhood needs a bank,
transportation,
some form of public transportation that's efficient,
a grocery store with fucking fruit in the beginning of the grocery store and not candy when you walk in.
Yes, and that's the difference between grocery stores and corner stores. In the grocery store, the foods that you're supposed to eat are right in front of your face. And any food that has to convince you to eat it is not a food that you should eat. Lucky Charms,
population control food.
Lucky Charms and all those other cereals have to convince you to eat them. An apple would never convince you to eat it. An apple would never have a nutrition label on it because it's nutritious in itself. Like,
and even
fruits and vegetables are
genetically modified organisms. So let's talk about it.
But it's really, but genetically modified that's how we continue to feed the population, because like corn doesn't exist naturally. We have to make that. Like the corn that we have in America, you have to combine two other life also.
It's cancerous though, because eventually the body it picks up on it, and it's like, this shit is not regular.
Yeah. And like life didn't give humans lemons. Humans had to make their own lemons. So a lot of fruits that we eat are GMOs, and GMOs are not traditionally a bad thing because they make it so we can feed a lot of people at one time.
I think the artificial dyes and the fact that you gotta restructure the DNA of something in the lab and then regrow it. How can you believe in God and have faith in organic naturalism and don't believe in Charles Darwin theory of evolution, but then when it comes to food, you share the similar ideas of it? Like, I don't have to fucking go get a cow and change nothing about it. I can eat that cow meat, and that cow is a cow. What am I changing? Unless I want to make money and be more efficient and make sure that it can be produced faster and be produced more of.
Yes, when profits come along, when corporations have to choose between profits and human benefit and human interest, the profit always wins every time, no matter what. And that's with anything. And sometimes they choose sometimes it goes so wrong when they choose profit that they lose money. How black people and lots of people have also been boycotting Target, and they've lost billions of dollars.
Why?
They removed the DEI program, and they completely
diversity, equity, and inclusion, for those of you who do not know.
Yeah. So
which basically means like we gotta fuck with minorities because we don't really view racist.
DEI, when it means that DEI does not mean that unqualified people get jobs. DEI ensures that the most qualified people actually get the jobs, because it's meant to protect the people who do have the degree and don't have the work and do have the work experience from getting outshined by someone who actually doesn't have it.
To me, it's a Black Lives Matter. We hire black people sign. If I'm putting it in niggas terms to where people who don't know what we talking about understand, it's basically like, to me, that's like saying like, we support minorities, black people, like we'll let y'all come work for us.
Yes, but
it's a competition.
It does help minorities. Well, actually, the biggest benefactors of the DEI,
it's a tax cut.
The biggest benefactor of DEI was white women. So the fact that this is a narrative that this is for the black people is actually not true.
It's a tax cut. That's why they ask you if you work your job and they say, do you receive food stamps or SNAP benefits, if you respond yes.
Whenever I do job applications, I just put that I'm white on them because I want to see when they see me.
She hella funny.
Because I want to see when they see me, what are they gonna say?
She hella funny. She got the game rigged.
Because
white.
if I'd be like or they'd be like, oh, you, because why? It doesn't matter. My race should not matter when hiring.
What she look like, y'all? She look like she Island Pacific Native American.
You know how many black people claim that they are Native American?
Let's talk about it. I'm Cherokee. Face, hold on. I cannot. Why she playing with me like that? I'm not Cherokee.
No, you're not Cherokee.
Oh, she just lied on my name, like my middle name, not Kanawaka. Like I don't have an Indian middle name and a tribal card. Why she just playing
I'm
with me,
just
chat?
saying, so many black people claim to be
Chat. Why she
Native
just came
American.
for me, chat? What they say?
You think putting all of your information on the camera is a good idea?
Chat, it's not gonna make no difference because I am who I am. Like, what? As long as I'm not dead, I'm okay. Y'all can scare me. But chat, do they not say cut, not what cut? Do they not mean sanctified and separated from the world?
Back to the point. Let's actually get into environmental racism.
Okay, environmental racism. Like, okay, we in the environment. They calling you a nigger.
Well, no.
No.
Well, no.
I just think a woman that's so smart and educated and talk about things deeper than just shaking her ass is so attractive. How y'all feel, chat?
So between 1980
W?
and 2010, the St. Louis, I'm going to read you guys some statistics about St. Louis City and St. Louis County. The poverty rate between 1980 and 2010 for African Americans ranged between 25% and 30%. For for white Americans, it was between 5% and 8%.
Why is that? We got to get context.
Okay. Well, first off, the job opportunities available, that was 20 years removed from segregation.
Okay.
That's a part of it. St. Louis,
as a nation, we've been combed to be able to be blue-collar workers since the fucking plantation. Instead of using our mind to make money, let's talk about it. I digress.
Let's talk about it. I digress. Are we talking about it or are you digressing?
I digress. Let's talk about it, meaning let us. Us meaning you, because it's two of us. Okay. My grammar is correct, boo. You gotta just keep up.
Well, no. The education attainment rate between 1980 and 2010 for African Americans between 1960 and 2010 ranged between 9% and 50% for African Americans. And for white Americans, it ranged between 17% and peaked at 70%.
What year did you get this analytics from?
Between the years of 1960 and 2010.
So
for the educational attainment rate.
Between heroin, crack, and then the opioid addiction. And
then also the recession happened too. So
what recession, mama?
The 2008 recession.
She's talking about the housing recession when they was giving crackheads and anybody housing, and you can make $300 a week and they gonna still approve you for a housing loan. It was one big balloon and bubble, and they say, yeah, you can come get this house and be an owner, but you're gonna have to owe us like 200%, which is double the money on the interest rate. And then people realize 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, hey, I'm not gonna be able to pay this, and then they would foreclose on their home. It's a big bubble, a big burst. It's a movie about that. It's called The Big Short.
What he's talking about is also the problem with what's happening with Klarna.
My host is so beautiful. What's Klarna?
Klarna is a loan company that
I know what you're talking about, the 4 installment payments.
Yes, and they have.
Why she didn't say thank you though? Like, hey, chat. If you say that somebody beautiful, like a lot of people don't.
Can we just focus on the video? Can we just focus on the video?
I'm twitching too, y'all. Hold on. With my one viewer, y'all. But I'm saying, should she be like, thank you though? I'm saying, don't.
Yes, thank you. Let's just focus on.
Right,
let's just focus on the podcast.
This not open. This not open conversation. This not open conversation.
It's open, but it's structured. It's like a gym.
Chad, how y'all feel about that?
It is confinements.
Chat, I don't know. That's getting weird, dog.
It is getting weird. Let's focus.
Really?
So, as if no, it's actually.
Is that a friend zone, chat? I think that's a friend zone.
Yeah, let's actually focus on my podcast itinerary that I wrote and that I like to follow strictly.
Oh my God. Okay, come on. We finna stick to the script.
So as of 2018, 58% of African Americans living in STL owned their homes, while 74% of white Americans owned their homes.
You want to be a homeowner one day?
It would be nice.
What type of home you want to own? I see you owning a mansion.
Well, technically in America, the best place to live is Minnesota because they don't have any natural disasters. Well, they have a lot of snow, but
We're not scared of shit.
But they won't get an earthquake. They won't get a hurricane. They won't get tornadoes like this. So, like, the safest place, I think, would be, like, up north. But I don't like being cold.
Let's talk about sharecropping and the Industrial Revolution, when a lot of black people moved from the South up north after slavery and after emancipation and after sharecropping.
Yeah, the Great Migration, yeah.
And the Industrial Revolution, when everybody came up north to start working in factories and shit.
I mean, yeah, the Great Migration, the Industrial Revolution, all of this plays into the environmental racism that we face today. Because,
You think we can be cousins?
Yeah.
That's crazy, y'all. Is it weird to talk to your cousin?
Oh my goodness.
Chat. This getting saucy. Chat. Why is he making that face, chat? I need to understand what is going on. Like, I'm really fucking with this conversation. I've never met no female like her. Let's talk about the first day I met her, chat. We taking over her podcast. I'm sorry. First day I met her, y'all.
Okay, guys. So this is like my favorite YN at the moment.
Oh, I'm a YN.
Although I really hate that phrase, and I think it does.
I'm not a YN. I'm older than her. I'm older than her. Chat. Let's talk about it.
I think it does 98% damage.
Chat. I'm older than her. Can we please talk about it? Who older? Me or you? And I'm a YN. If I'm a YN, then you a YN too. Cause you got dreads like King Vine, and I know that you got dirt. You have secrets.
Everyone has secrets.
Hey y'all, she inspired me. I'm finna have a Let's Talk About It podcast. Like, let's talk about it.
Yes, that's the point. I'm the influence. I think you have a very interesting perspective as a young black father.
No, stop labeling me that. I don't want to be called a father. Like, you're finna piss me off, and I'm finna lead the call.
Young black. This is your vehicle.
Huh? Let's take a walk.
No.
She said no?
Yeah. No is a complete sentence, and it's a perfectly fine answer.
That's mean. We can go to the stop sign in the back. Like, we can enjoy the earth.
We are filming a podcast.
Who said that the viewers don't want to see the earth?
That's not what they want to see. An in-car podcast.
Hey y'all, what y'all want to see? Like and comment and subscribe and tell me underneath. Like, what y'all want to see? Don't y'all want to see action?
This is the action. They are.
Part 2, we gonna be moving and we gonna have our camera and we gonna be talking. Like, part 2 is gonna be lit. Like, we not doing it in the car. Part 2.
They are thoroughly entertained.
Y'all is entertained, but like, hey, I really just want her to be my best friend, and I want to spend like a lot of time with her. Is that cringy, chat? Me being honest, can I be honest, chat? I'm gonna die one day, so can I at least say what's on my mind?
Say what's on your. Speak your piece. You are able to say what's on your mind. You know why? Because
I want to be your friend.
You can be my friend.
I want you to lose the attitude.
I don't have an attitude. I have a demeanor. This is how.
Is attitude and demeanor synonyms?
So you saying lose the attitude? Everyone has an attitude. I don't have an attitude with you right now at all. I am enjoying this. I know they are. This is gonna be.
It's just a distance, and I just don't understand it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it podcast. Let's talk about it podcast. Like that's not a fire name.
Let's talk about it. That is a fire name.
Hold on, chat.
But let's focus on a podcast that we're actually on.
All right, come on. I'm just bothering you. I'm just pulling your strings to see where your head is. Is that okay? Or that's not okay?
It's fine. Like, I never fall for the rage bait.
Oh my God. Hey, I see you to step the internet because I don't even know what that is.
rage bait, trying to get a reaction.
No.
I think
somebody took it. No, they didn't. They took it. Somebody took it.
Name it like the Let's Get Into It podcast or something.
I want what I want.
Well, they have what you want already.
No, because it's not. It's not.
How about we focus on this video?
They got it. Okay, chat. It's over with. It's cute, chat. Come on, let's get back on her time because I'm thankful for her being able to let me be here. Like, her time is valuable, and I think this is a special woman that she gonna be somebody one day, and I would love to just be within her presence and learn from her. Cause she got aura.
This is my biggest fan.
I'm her biggest fucking fan, and I love her aura. Do y'all like her aura?
Of course, they like my aura. That's why they're still listening. Back to rage bait.
She dope with this thing though.
That's an amazing compliment. Back to rage bait. I think people, when they do public interviews and stuff, when they try to get a reaction, I think that people forget that the consequence of like a pure rage bait is pure rage. So like trying to do something just to get a reaction out of people and then being surprised when you get a reaction, it's like a very horrible life model to follow. I think that's similar to like standing out in a storm and then like being surprised, standing out in the storm with a big metal rod, then being surprised when you get struck by lightning.
She overcomplicating shit, chat. Rage bait is like holding the motherfucking dog tail. You don't know this dog, and you playing with this dog, and you pulling his ears, pull his tail, and they gonna bite you. They gonna bite you. They gonna bite. Why you make that face?
I'm just listening to you speak.
You almost made me sad. Like, I straight want to see you happy 24/7, and I know that's impossible, but I'm gonna at least try to reach 90 percentile happiness when you in my presence.
Okay. Okay.
Why is he doing that? Is it me or is it giving weird, chat?
I'm just listening to what would you like me to say to that?
No, chat, it's not about what I want, but it's like I have to look, chat, you gotta let people be where they at. You gotta meet them where they at. And if they is who they is, then you can't be mad at what they is. And when they want you to be what they want you to be for them, then you gotta accept that it's not organic, because they gonna switch based upon the narrative you give them. Let people be them.
Well, if y'all picked up on any of that, y'all can quote it.
If you know, then you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah.
I just think I'm overcomplicated with emotions right now, and that's a problem for me.
Okay, guys. Thank you for listening to the Whatever Comes to Mind podcast. This is a long video.
That's a long video. We did that. High five. Follow me at AC_exploded on IG, and follow my best friend at
Whatever Comes to Mind podcast at Heaven Omega.
And follow her at
Hevo Bucks on TikTok.
Hevo Bucks is crazy. So you were a gangbanger, Bucks? That's some street nigga shit. We was just talking about gentrification and black people. This the reason why we fell as a black community, y'all. I'm sorry.
Well, it's just Hevo Bucks because I want Bucks, and actually I got that. That was a nickname from 7th grade.
She's a YN.
I thought we were dismantling YN.
We dismantling it.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to the Whatever Comes to Mind podcast. And as always, if you disagree, you're wrong.
Let's talk about